Wake up, wake up. We are in the third quarter. We're in the third quarter now. My last video, I was talking about how we're grinding super hard. What are we doing in this third quarter to make sure we get to our goal? Are we working even harder? Are we burning ourselves out this third quarter? Are we working smart and not hard? What are we doing? What I'm learning that I need to do specifically is network more, because I'm not for the burning myself out and going live 3, 4, 5 times a day. That's burnout. That is burnout culture. I can't do it. Well, I'm not gonna say I can't. We're not using the word can't, right? I can do it, but I can foresee that being me setting myself up, and I want to work hard and not smart. I mean, I want to work smart and not hard. That's crazy. I want to work smart and not hard. And working hard is burning myself out, going live 3, 4 times a day. I mean, I'm going to try it just to see if I see a difference. But I think my problem is I need to network more. And I want to keep networking. But it's like, even when I do network and when I do, show other people support, I still get the same couple of people, who shows up. And it's not y'all fault. It got to be YouTube who's not pushing it out, who's not pushing the videos out. But that's okay. That is a-okay, because we're gonna find us a strategy. We are going to find us a strategy. Come on, baby, hop on out. I don't know what it's gonna take, but we got to find us a strategy. Thank you. All right, y'all, give me a hot little second. I don't know if you're just joining the live. Give me a hot little minute. The last live got cut off. I don't think YouTube was liking what I had to say. I don't think they like what I had to say. All right, y'all. Oh, we back. So if you're just joining the live, make sure you hit that like button. I'm gonna need y'all to tap the like button, y'all. If you're just joining the live, let me know that y'all are here. Give me 1 second, by the way. Okay. All right, I see 12 people in the chat. I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like button. What it do, Bean? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. And make sure y'all hit that like button. Okay, for sure. Yeah, YouTube ain't like what I had to say in that last live. It was like, we're pulling the plug, you guys. We're gonna pull the plug. She's talking too much. They're on to us. They know we're not paying small content creators. I'm not. Okay, here's another thing. I wanted to clarify something, because we are in we're in the fourth quarter, you guys. I mean the third quarter, not the fourth quarter. We're in the third quarter, right? What are we doing? What have we learned from the first and second quarter? And what are we going to do to, if you're going to back out, come on and back on that, lady. And what are we going to do to make sure that third quarter is a little bit more successful than the first and second quarter? That was the point I was about to get into, but YouTube pulled the plug. What are we doing to make sure that we have a successful third quarter? What have we learned from the first and second quarter? Because I'm watching and I'm looking back and I'm noticing that we are working hard and not smart. And I don't want to be burnt out going live 3 and 4 times a day. Now, some people, it might be, they can do that at their leisure. You know, some people have the time to go live every day and it's working for them. So I wanted to make that, you know, be known. I wanted to make that be known. Some people are going live every day and it's working for them. What about the people who don't have that time to go live every day? What are we doing? What strategy are we doing? Because if we don't have time to go live every day, which is way easier than editing a video, editing a vlog, what strategy are we using? And my strategy, I said I need to do is probably network a little bit more. Even though I think I'm networking, maybe I'm not networking as hard as I thought I was. Because the more I network, when I finally do post a video, those people will come right back to me and YouTube will push my video out to where I ain't got to hustle and bustle on live. When I do finally decide to post a regular vlog, the people who I'm connecting with, they can come back to my video and be like, oh, hey, what's up? Bean says consistency, batch, edit, and schedule lives when there's something scheduled or planned. I schedule all my videos, not my lives though, unless it's one of my movie reviews. I usually schedule those. And I schedule literally damn near all of my vlogs. Those are always scheduled. Now, one thing I have been slacking on is my Throwback Thursdays. Those, you haven't been seeing much of those because of the week that I took off. And I was supposed to get back to it. So, y'all don't see as much as those. So I can get better with doing that. And that's the favorite word, consistency. But I'm like, I feel like consistency is going to make people think that they're supposed to burn themselves out every day. When people hear the word consistency, they hear, okay, you got to do the same thing every day. And consistency doesn't necessarily mean that. That means have a consistent schedule. So even if you're not posting every day, you can post every Tuesday and Thursday. That's consistent. Everyone knows every Tuesday and Thursday you're going to be posting. I only recently started to. I never even realized I could. Networking did more because I learned the same for me being, because I'm introverted. So with me being introverted, and that's kind of brings me back to my frustration with the old YouTube. And I get it, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You can't really change the past or anything. But the old YouTube, you mean to tell me all those big YouTubers was networking and hey and going on other people's channels? No, they wasn't doing that. And I come from that old school way of how I got on YouTube. I wasn't networking because back then YouTubers wasn't networking with other YouTubers. Well, but they was at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't going to other small content creators and looking at their channel and interacting with them. They wasn't doing that. They were just posting and going about their business. So I came from that old school way of thinking when I first, because again, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. So it's like, I didn't know that I had to network like that, in that type of way. I'll say that, in that type of way where I gotta go to 15 people's videos, watch all 20 minutes of 15 people's videos. Because that's what y'all essentially telling me. if everybody I go to, if they got a 20-minute video and I watch 15 people's 20-minute videos, that's a lot. Y'all do the math on that. That's a lot. And maybe 5 of those 15 people just might come back to my video. I'm not discouraging anyone, by the way. I'm not speaking negatively about this type of strategy, because it works for some people and it doesn't work for other people. So I just wanted to make that clear. I'm not talking negative about this strategy, but I do foresee that this strategy is working harder and not smarter. because you are essentially using a lot of your energy and a lot of your time just to only get back a small percentage of what you're dishing out, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, I ain't made it yet. Heavy on the yet, because I'm gonna make it. Heavy on the yet, but I just foresee this strategy causing burnout real bad. Somebody once told me hustle culture ain't a flex. Because if you a part of hustle culture, that further lets me know that you burning yourself out. You want stuff to come easily to you. And I mentioned this yesterday when I was talking about the whole B. Simone thing. I was watching Keita Rose podcast, and she was talking about hustle culture and how B. Simone is, hustling to get to a certain spot in life. She's hustling real hard to get to a certain spot in life, but that's causing her to neglect certain things like her friends, her health, and it can be draining. But I guess that's why when you look at these CEOs of these companies, they looking all old and gray, they don't even look appealing. It's because they done burnt themselves out just to build a company. But when they finally do get a chance to reap their, the benefits of them building their company, then I guess they can pour back into themselves. But I'm like, what about the people who have these overnight successes? Is it because they were just destined? Because they were destined to have this. Some people, that's why I use De'Ara for an example. Some people don't have to go as hard, and God bless them. Some people just don't gotta go as hard. My bad, I'm missing the chat. So Bean says, same. I started watching vloggers like in the 2000. Yeah, me too. I want to say that too, because I was still in high school, and I graduated 2010. So yeah, I was watching people like 09 too. Yep. And I think because it was a lot newer still, the pioneers didn't have to do as much because it was still a smaller niche. Correct. So now that it's oversaturated, it just makes you feel like, dang, I'm fighting clawing my way to the top. Like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta post, I gotta do that, I gotta wake up at 5 a.m, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And it's like, you could potentially burn yourself out. Like I said, this particular strategy could be good for other people. It may work for some people, right? I'm seeing that it is working for some people. So I'm not, for lack of a better word, shitting on this strategy. I'm just saying, like, what about those where you feel that it's not working? What else can we do besides burn ourselves out every day? What else can we do? What's going on, Jay? They burn themselves out and then set the ashes back on fire. Like, literally. Like, okay, I'm burnt out. Now let me burn myself out some more. It's like, dang. But that's the point I was trying to make earlier, is that, again, I get it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. We can't really change the past. We can't, but what other strategies can we come up with besides burning ourselves out? For those who feel like they're being burned. So other people may not feel like they're burning themselves out because they may have the leisure to, to post every day, to go live 3, 4, 5 times a day. It may work for others, but what about those other people? And then you gotta think about it. Back then, it was so easy for them. So freaking easy. They were successful without zero effort, man. Post and go and be like, oh, my check was $12,000. I still can't get over that, y'all. I cannot get over that. When she said that was her first check, not her second, third, fourth, her first YouTube check, $12,000. I'm like, what? And did I hear other small content creators be like, oh yeah, my first check $100. What? $100? And here's another thing too, y'all. Back then they didn't really have niches. The word niche didn't even really exist back then in YouTube world. They didn't even have a niche. They was just posting whatever the hell they wanted to post. Let me see. Bean says, but it'll be worth it when we get there. Yeah, it will. It's just we're gonna have to work a lot more harder to get there versus back then when they was doing things effortlessly. They was doing things effortlessly, like really posting and going. De'Ara said all she did was be herself, because the interviewer asked her, the guy from the CEO from Revolt TV, he was like, so what strategy did you? She's like, I didn't really use a strategy. She was like, we just posted. We honestly didn't know that we were going to be famous one day, and then all of a sudden, you know, I got my first check and it was $12,000. And he was like, 12,000? She's like, yeah, $12,000. 19 years old, fresh out of high school. 19 years old, fresh out of high school, $12,000 check by doing nothing but posting and being herself. All of us are posting and being ourselves. I believe we are, right? We're all posting and being ourselves. How long y'all think it's going to take for us to get a $12,000 check off YouTube? How long do you think that's going to take? Not to discourage anybody, but how long do you think that's going to take? Just let that sink in for a minute. Let it sink in. All right, let me finish reading your comment, Bean. It's just like anything you put time into. I put a year into working hard at a job with the next raise in mind, just switching what I'm going hard for. Jay said that's so true. I be thinking about that too. Yeah, like we putting in a lot of work, man. This is a lot of work. I don't know, Jay, when you started, when did you start like going hard? Or when did you, I don't know if it was day one, but when did you start posting like consistently every day? When did you start posting consistently every day? Because think about it. These people wasn't posting consistently every day. Bean gave an example. They was posting like one time a week. Because again, I do not remember watching these YouTubers every day. They wasn't posting every day. It was posting once a week and boom. Within like a few months, maybe even a year, you know, we'll give them a solid year or two. And then it's like, dang, hold on, these people famous already? And they wasn't burning themselves out with going live. Going live wasn't even a thing back then in YouTube. But I get it, because streaming is a thing. We got streaming culture, you know, people who stream. Let me see. So Jay says maybe 2 years, but anything can happen. That's true. Anything can happen. It could be soon. It depends on the person. I'm gonna work for it. Yeah, but that was my whole point. Some people they're destined for it, right? To where they don't have to work as hard. Some of us, on the other hand, like myself, we gotta actually work for it. And what my question was, what other strategies can we come up with besides burning ourselves out? Because yeah, you want to work hard for it, but it's like you don't want to burn yourself out either. Let me see. I started posting consistently from day one. My very first day I posted up until 124 days. Okay. And you started posting, you said 2 years ago. I say 5. 5 years? Was that to my other question about how long you think it's going to take us to get a $12,000 check from YouTube? 5 years? I feel like we would have had a different business venture by then. Bean says, sorry, my comments be long. I talk a lot. No, you're good. I love that. I love people who actually talk to me and interact with me. I'm on here. People in real life tired of hearing me yap. I'm not. Girl, I'm a certified yapper. If you ain't know by now, one thing Corey gonna do is yap. She gonna yap when she get on this app. Y'all like how that rhyme. She gonna yap when she get on this app. I am gonna yap, because baby, I be having a lot to talk about. I hit 1K in less than 3 months. I started posting October 23rd. That's when I hit my 1K. And that was just from off of one video though. That's because of a viral is like 10,000. How many views? Well, I don't know. I got a lot of videos on that. A lot of views on that video. I think it was 13. I don't know. I can't remember, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I can't remember, but it's because one particular video. And then I started being consistent after that video, because I come from, like I was telling Bean, I come from the old school YouTube. A lot of y'all are kind of like just starting out. So y'all are already okay with the change because it's like, this is new. Like, okay, this is what I gotta do. This is new. But if you come from the old YouTube, then you have a certain way of thinking. And I'm trying to break that habit of, like, what I was mentioning earlier was, back then, those big YouTubers, they wasn't networking and talking to other smaller content creators. They was posting a video and going about their business. So I had that same mindset until I realized, oh, I got to network. I got to talk to people. That they wasn't doing that back then. They was just posting their videos. So it's hard to break that habit when you've been doing it for so long. And that's why a lot of us didn't get to the top, because we thinking, oh, we can post around, we can post here and there, because other YouTubers were doing it. They were posting here and there, and they was just so happening to get discovered. So now you have a new wave of people like, no, we go and network. We post every day. We burn ourselves out every day. And you're like, oh, okay, so I got to burn myself out. Okay. I'm being dramatic, y'all. Y'all not burning yourselves out, but you are working a lot more harder than the older YouTubers. We have to keep that 100. You are working a lot more harder. Back then, they didn't have to work as hard. Let me see. Yes, for a $12,000 check, I would say it was viral for you. Everyone has their viral. Yeah, but I don't think I reached like 10,000 views. I think I had like 1,300. Some, I gotta go back and check. It was 2 videos that did, like, they went crazy, stupid. I was like, dang, I didn't know that. Okay. And then when that video got up there, then I was like, okay, maybe I need to start posting consistently. So that would have been October of 2023 as well for me. No, I lied. October 2024, last year. So yeah, October of last year. My apologies. October last year was when I started posting consistently. And then I got 1,000 subscribers like overnight. But that was just from that one video. And that's how I thought it was supposed to be. Hey, you post a viral video or you post something people like, and you move on and you kind of just keep posting like weekly. No, the new wave is you have to post every day. And maybe you get a percentage of what you're putting back out there, because it's not going to be the same checks that they were getting back then. Back then, a $12,000 check for your very first YouTube check compared to a smaller content creator now, their first check is maybe $100. It's not the same. Let me see. Yes, when I started posting, I was doing what I wanted to do. So I started building community from day one. See, that's what I'm saying. Because you were newer to YouTube, it's easier to kind of conform your mind to thinking, oh, build community. Back then, those YouTubers was not building communities. Their following came to them without them having to put in effort to seek them out. We have to seek out our community. If that makes sense. We have to seek out our own community. We're not just like posting and then everybody's just coming to us. It's like, no, we got to find our community versus our community finding us. And I didn't have that thought. Like, okay, I gotta find my community. I thought they were supposed to come and find me when I post a video, but YouTube isn't gonna help us in that area. They're gonna be like, no, we'll help you when we feel like helping you. We'll push your video when we feel like pushing your video. Other than that, you gotta go out and seek your people, and then we'll have a little bit more direction of where we wanna, push your channel. Nah, it literally changed in October because of the new group of people that came in the game. If you would have rode that wave of speaking on YouTube strategies, do you think it would be different? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. The world may never know. What's going on, Trish? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm on my little tangent here, child. Yapping per usual. Maybe, but I don't know. I spoke on something specific. I spoke on a specific niche and a specific person, and that's what kind of got me. I'm like, dang, that's all I had to now. To keep it 100, like I said before, I've had a video that had 18,000 views, but it's like it was so hard to figure out how did that happen. My bad, y'all. I had to take a sip of my drink. I was trying to figure out, like, how did that, come about? There were so many different strategies out there, but the strategy that I used to be aware of and know that worked for older YouTubers was they would post and go. Post and go. They wasn't building communities. So that's what I'm saying. It's hard to kind of break out of that when you're not, used to seeing that. And you have to literally put in the work versus just being yourself and letting it come to you. Because success will come to you. But it's some other, like I said before, it's other people. We got to go to the success. We got to work hard. We got to reach and pull and fight and lose sleep for it. If that makes sense. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist, by the way. I'm just kind of, setting the tone. Because my initial question was, it's the fourth quarter. It's the third quarter. What are we doing different to get different results? Like, some stuff may be working for other people, but it may not be working for the next person. Some stuff is working for other people, but it may not be working for the next. So what are we doing different? What can we do different? I don't know. Let me know. Because we are now in July. And I know some of us are closer to our goals. I know some of us are closer to our goals. But some of us still got a long way to go. Some of us still got like a very, very long way to go. And what are we doing different? What can we do differently besides burn ourselves out? Because you see people, they'll go hard, go hard, go hard. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, then they take a step back. And then they realize, oh, shoot, I done got kind of tired now. I'm just going to sit this one out. What are we doing differently? What can we do differently? Because we don't want to burn ourselves out. And let me know if y'all hear me in the chat, because I don't see the chat moving either. I make sure I ain't just talking to a brick wall over here. Let me know. Okay, there we go, Trish. There we go. Somebody. I think sometimes we pivot instead of persist, and that hinders growth. That does. That's what I was saying too. I don't want to say a pivot, but I did something different, and that was create a whole new channel versus sticking to my first channel and being persistent with the first channel. I did a whole new channel. That's where I messed up at. Because on this channel, I have, let me see, I have 400 watch hours, which is good. Like, that's great. That I have watched hours quicker than I did on my first channel. My first channel, it took me a minute to get to those 1,100 watch hours that I have currently. What's going on, Anthony? I can't believe you are up. Me, I know. I was up late last night. I went live twice last night. Just to see. I was like, let me see. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm burning myself out. I'm going to talk about this in the morning. I was like, I'm up late at night. On live, child. Wasn't nobody in there but me and Tanika. Me, Tanika, and Danielle had stopped by. And Dice. Dice had stopped by too. Just up in there just yapping. But yeah. I just want to know, like, what other strategies, or is there, or there isn't any. It's just like, hey, you got to network and post every day, and that's that on that. Ain't nothing else you can do. Ain't nothing else you can do. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. It's just hard to get out of that mindset, though. For me personally. I can't speak for everybody else. I'm like, these other people, they didn't have to do that. I'm trying to get with the new wave, but I'm like, I know how I get. I'm like, I know I get tired quick. I get tired really quick. And again, some people don't have to work as hard and they're destined for it. like how De'Ara was saying when I was listening to her interview. And her first check was $12,000 and she didn't have to do nothing. And some people, they literally have to post every single day until something finally pops off. And I think, like what Jay was saying, that kind of poses the question, like, you never know. It could happen but it's like, when, child? When, child? And usually, y'all know how ironic stuff happens. Stuff happens right when you about to give up. That's when stuff be happening. Like right when you about to give up, that's when boom. Let me see. Yes, it's hard to know when it's time to pivot though. Yeah, true. I went to sleep after the movie. I know y'all did. A lot of y'all went to sleep. I was supposed to go to sleep. When I tell you I was so sleepy, it was me, Dice, and Tanika's World. I went live again on my other channel, and Danielle, she had came through right before I was about to get off. Did she do an interview? Who did do an interview? Those successful people are they are those who don't have those who put in like little to no effort. And again, I know it's the outside looking in. To us, it seems like, oh, this was overnight. But man, after I listened to that interview that De'Ara did, she basically was saying it was overnight. She was like, yeah, this happened overnight. She was like, yep, I ain't do nothing. I just posted, and my first check was $12,000. I was like, what? Now, far as her keeping that same energy, keeping up with that 12, just because that was her first, because you have one-hit wonders where they go viral overnight and then it's hard to stay viral. Now I think that might have been her challenge, like making sure she stay, in the limelight. But far as how she got there, she said it was easy. She didn't have to do much. Literally posted, she was herself, and then boom. Before you knew it, $12,000 check. And I hate that, not saying you should depend on one income, but I hate that it's changed. It's like, why the rules got to change when we come through? Why the rules got to change when we decide to want to do the YouTube? I don't know. De'Ara. Oh, did she? Yeah, matter of fact, y'all go watch it. It's on, it's motivational, but it'll have you questioning things. Yes, De'Ara did an interview with the CEO of Revolt TV. And she talked about how she started and everything. And go watch it. She made everything seem very effortless. And that is, I think that's very possible for certain people. They can do things with little to no effort. Like, and it's very believable because a lot of people back then did not put in much effort. And it makes you wonder, like, why does it have to change when we do it? Especially if you started YouTube around, I don't think I started when they started. I started in 2018, 2019. So if you start during that time, you're like, dang, so I thought it was supposed to happen like this. But when you start to get around other people, like, no, you're supposed to network. You got to build your community. You're supposed to actually work hard. You're like, okay. It's just trying to break that mindset for me. Okay, I agree. That was for her, especially for that time she started posting. That was a lot of people. Well, okay, like a lot of people on here was looking for something like that to watch. Yeah. I think Bean kind of like, she basically, said it in a nutshell. It wasn't that many people that was in that niche. Having a niche wasn't really even a thing because it was so few far in between when you found somebody on YouTube that, was posting the type of videos that you like. So it was so new. So now that it's oversaturated, you got to kind of fight and claw your way to the top, basically. It's not going to come as effortlessly as it did back then. It's not going to be the same. All right, y'all. I done talked enough. I was trying to be on here for an hour, but I can't do it. I got to go to work. But thank you guys anyway for tuning into the live and listen to me rant. Per usual, y'all know I'm going to get on my soapbox almost every day and rant. But anyway, this is not to discourage you. This is not to speak negative. I want y'all to know this is literally just to motivate you and for you to question, because sometimes it's okay to question things, especially if you see that it's not working. It's okay to sit back and go back to the drawing board. That's what I wanted to bring out there. So I don't want to be a pessimist. I don't want nobody to think like, oh, she on here being negative. What may work for one person may not necessarily work for the other. It depends on you. It depends on your schedule. It depends on what you can and cannot do. So make sure when you are deciding, hey, what strategy am I going to come up with to be successful in this YouTube game? Go back and learn from other people's mistakes. Go back and see what works for you and your schedule. Because some people can go live every day. Some people have that leisure. Some people cannot. Just do it at your pace, because you are going to be the one at the end of the day who's putting in this hard work. No one can't put in the hard work for you. But also know that you do have to eventually put in hard work. And some people may have to work harder than others. So that was my whole point. That's why the title of this video is the first of the month, wake up. We are in the third quarter. A lot of us and a lot of our goals was to become monetized by the end of the year. We're in the third quarter, y'all. What are we going to do? How are we going to re-strategize? How can we make the third quarter more successful than the first and second quarter? What can we do differently? That was the question that I wanted to propose to you guys. So when I question things, it's not to be negative. It's just so you can think. Because the same thing, like I'm gonna use this person. I almost hate to use her name, but remember how DoorDash became successful overnight, and a lot of people started recording and vlogging every day and realizing that what worked for her didn't work for them? That was what I'm getting at. Because it worked for her doesn't mean it's going to work for y'all, because everyone is different. Everyone has different content. Sometimes it's your time, and sometimes it's not your time. And sometimes you got to sit back. And when I say go back and look at other people, see how they did it, and don't do it the exact same way, but go back and look and see, how can I alter that into my lifestyle? Do I go to work every day? Yeah, I go to work every day, so I can't post every day. But when can I post? I can post every Thursday and Friday. That's consistency. Consistency doesn't necessarily mean every day. It means doing the same thing consistently. Doesn't mean every day. Post every Thursday and Friday. That's consistent. You know? That's why I try to, hey, Monday movie nights, every Monday. You're going to see me on this app. You're going to see me on this app. Every Throwback Thursday, you're going to see me on this app. Do I want to be on here every day? I would love to, but I can't. So just because it worked for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for the other. Find out what strategy is for you and just stick with it. It's the third quarter. Y'all be great. I got to go to work. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, a wonderful month, and let's rock out, y'all. Oh, yeah, and watch my video. Okay, I posted. Y'all go watch my last video now, all right? All right, love y'all. I'm out of here.